on down the broken road. I call on you to help me carry the load. Oh Lord, you never let me down.
Thank you for joining us today. Anything you hear in this podcast is not to be taken for medical advice. This podcast is for information purposes only, and should you find something interesting in the information spoken about, please consult your physician further.
Hello and welcome to the Broken Road Podcast. I'm your host, Trent Peterson. Today I'm joined by my friend Lorenzo Cherry. How you doing, Lorenzo?
I'm doing real good this morning. Hold up yourself, Trent.
Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Oh, it's awesome you had some time to sit down with me and visit. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yep, I have too. It's been exciting. I've been studying all night long to make sure I get it all right.
I bet it doesn't take much studying. You're good on the fly. You always have been since the day I met you.
Yes, yeah.
So we met each other at the Baylor Day Neuro program. I had suffered a stroke and you had suffered a TIA, correct?
That is correct. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Did you spend any time upstairs in their inpatient facility?
Yes, I did. I did 7 or 10 days up there. Yeah, I sure did.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess one of the first questions I got is kind of how did that happen? How did that come about? And how did you know you were having a stroke?
I went to work. I worked for the Defense Commissary Agency at the time, but since I've retired, good for retirement, right? So
Yeah.
I went to work and I told the wife before I left that morning that I was having this headache that just was right with me, and I'm saying like, wow, I don't know what this is all about. I thought maybe I had too many glasses of brown liquor watching the previous night football game or something. I don't know, but I went to work. I took some over the counter stuff for the headache all day long. It never went away. It never went away. I just kept having this pounding right here in the right side of my head. And then I came home. Matter of fact, the pain was so much that I called one of my colleagues to ask them to come spell me because I was the closing manager for the day. Come spell me because I can't make it all day long. And I went home and I told the wife my head was still hurting. So she said to me, "Do you want to go to the emergency room?" And unlike what I might have usually said, I said, "Yeah, let's go to the emergency room." So I went over to the actually one of those urgent care places and everything, and the doctor gave me a series of MRIs and all that kind of good stuff, and he basically came back to me and said, "Man, there's some things going on with you there. I don't like the way that they look. I think we need to send you to the stroke center downtown. You know what I mean? So at JPS. So that's exactly where I ended up at.
Oh, wow.
Right." And then before that, I didn't have any. Man, I thought I was very healthy. Matter of fact, you know what I mean? I pride myself on that, I was in good shape. Although I probably was fooling myself. I had gone to see my primary care provider back in March of last year, and she had told me that I needed to change my ways. So, but then you know how that is, right? So, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be a common thread. I mean, I was in the same boat. I probably definitely could have been taking better care of myself, but I did think that I was in pretty good health for my age, and was kind of broadsided by that and surprised when it did happen. But they're usually telltale signs. One thing you had mentioned when we visited before was that you didn't have a stroke like I did. But through everything I've read, TIAs are really there's not really such a thing as a small stroke. You still went through and experienced the same things I did. Maybe the damage didn't last as long, but there's no such thing as a small stroke. So I want to make sure and get that out. What were some of the deficits that you kind of experienced?
Well, the thing I think that it just to come on to what you're talking about as well too. Many people who have a TI, because the blockage sometimes in a TI is so quick, and it can disappear, that you might rule it off as being, well, it was just it was just a headache and it could just pass on. But in many cases, I still had some similar syndromes. From the TI, I had a numbness in the left side of my body. I lost vision in my eye. My world was spinning around and around like, I was having all kinds of episodes and stuff. But my balance was all off. You know, it was. I know the first morning I woke up at the hospital downtown, and my whole world was spinning upside down like I was in Matrix or something like that. I thought, my gracious, what is happening to me? And then
Yeah,
it
I
wasn't.
totally
Yeah,
get that.
yeah, yeah. Then but I mean, I still had movement and all that kind of good stuff. But I mean, it was clearly evident that I was not the guy who I was a couple of days ago. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. So TIAs usually, and I mean, I hate to go here, but I got to because it's part of it. Typically, a TIA is a chance for another stroke, the same as a stroke that I have.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, at this point, I know, but for our audience, what are some of the things you've done to change it up a little bit for
Well,
yourself?
as you know, a TIA, like all strokes, are cardiovascular issues. So, by virtue of having a TIA, my primary care provider is a cardiologist. Because at my examinations, my heart functionality has had decreased significantly. I think she ruled that it was only functioning at 55% of the 65% capacity that it should have been at. And I had all the indications of high blood pressure and pre-diabetes. So since that time, I'm on a heart medication as well as a blood thinner, Plavix, Aldactone for to keep the vessels and everything cleaned out and that kind of stuff. So and Jardiance for diabetes. So
Right.
so now what I mean I got to take your medication regularly. I've included advanced physical treatment because I go see rehab and a chiropractor almost 2 or 3 times a week. I got the exercise more, what I mean. And as much as I love to cook and eat, I have to watch what I put in my mouth. And I've almost cut out all sweets because before, man, I couldn't pass the candy dish without putting my hand in it. So uh,
I was right there with you. I really didn't. I don't know. I got that way, anyways. But you know, through this whole deal, that's all I do is read and research. And that you said a key thing right there. I think. I mean, sugar is super inflammatory, so I'm sure you're feeling, even though it's not as fun, I'm sure you're feeling better just not having that running through your system.
right,
I mean,
right,
that's
right,
it's not
right.
good for you.
I do. Then it must be stated without doubt. I also love to drink. And bourbon was my best friend. You know what I mean? And I drink it like iced tea. So so I had to put the cap on that as well too because what I mean, alcohol after all is a poison, and you certainly can't sit down and drink scrupulous amounts of alcohol and expect the result to be nil. Right? Or at least
Hey,
now I realize that, right?
that's right.
Uh,
Yeah, you recently retired too when you came back, so I'm sure that's reduced some stress as well.
Well, and that's an interesting fundamental about too, because in my job, I was the man in charge, and I didn't think my job was stressed at all. I had a great team that I worked with. It was almost like it was on automatic pilot. But I will tell you, man, that since I retired, it's day and night. It really is. There's nothing like the lift that just gets off of you by virtue of not having to go in and do 9 to 5. But fortunately, I've been blessed that I had a good career with the government. So my retirement is intact, and what I mean, I can still live very, very comfortably even in retirement.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you were also a veteran as well, correct?
Yes, and I'm a veteran. So I've got between my federal time and my in the military, I got like 40 years with the federal government. So
Well, thank you for your service. I'm glad
my
you
pleasure. It has
made
been
it through this battle so
it
far.
was all my fun. I want you to know, right? Yes, yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad you've made it this far. All of those things that we've just went over are super important for people to understand. Um, I had a lot of the same things. You know, when you talk about that stress level, it's really hard to see when you're right in the middle of it. I don't know that I realized how stressed I was until I was not going and doing that same thing every day. I think you naturally just kind of get used to that level of stress and don't realize until you're out of it that it, you know, something that is just out bringing you down. And stress causes inflammation and many other things. So I bet you are feeling just better all the way around now.
I
That's
mean,
awesome.
I really all the way around. I'll tell you, man. I mean, as you know as well too. When I retired, my sleep was better. My sleep was long. My dreams were more pleasantly of things that were of naughty scripture. Like, what's this craziness? Something I'm looking at and everything too. So, and I'm an avid reader, so I've been able to enjoy having several hours a day if I choose to be able to read a good book. Yeah, so most of the time, though, I must tell you, I don't get a chance to do a whole lot because I got two young kids, 14 and 16, and they keep me on the run now because I think I'm their personal concierge at this point in my career.
You got a 14 and 16-year-old. How old are you,
So,
Lorenzo?
well, I'm 72. So I'm 72. This is my second crew. I got two older kids from my first marriage years back when I was a younger man, rambunctious and running about in the uniform at the time. And so my oldest is 51. And
Okay.
my son is 40, older son is 46. And then I got this new set of,
Well, that's okay. I we got blessed with River when I was 40, so he's 8 years old and I'm 48 now, and I'll be in that same boat, where you're at somewhat, and my buddies all called me Pawpaw Daddy whenever whenever I told them we were having a
right,
kid.
right, right.
But anyways, I don't know. That's good stuff. That's
Well,
good
I
stuff.
think,
They'll
man,
keep.
I look at my younger kids as a blessing too. I mean, I have to admit that when I was a younger man, I was not a really good father. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I fathered kids. I gave them some money, but I didn't have. The time was mine. I didn't do it. But so this chance, God has given me an opportunity to be able to make amends
yes,
and be the kind of father like that my father was, because my father was a great father. So
right.
you know what I mean. So I can now mimic some of that and do the kind of things that one ought to be doing if you're going to call yourself a father, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that
yeah,
100%.
exactly.
And I was doing the same thing. I was super busy. They're actually, um, it was really a blessing. In a weird way, my stroke, because I was too busy for anything really that matters. I was too busy working all the time and trying to, make a future for the family, and I didn't have any time for them right then. And that probably being here and now, present on the present day, every day is the most important thing, I think.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Um, So, during our time in therapy and day neuro together, you and LeBron had quite a few good times, and it got loud and rambunctious in the gym there. But it was always a good time. You were always positive and smiling, and just kind of brought life to the room whenever you came in. Where does that come from?
Man, you know what? It happened spontaneously. I came down to Day New Road. The first, when I first came, once you have a stroke, you can't drive for a while because you got your vision all messed up and everything. So they picked you up. So when they started picking you up in the bus and everybody jumped in the bus together and all these people just like you together riding on together and there's conversation a bit and then they told me there was another bus and this guy was on it and then when I got in there they were in there and they were eating burritos for breakfast in the gym. You know how they did that and everything. So I looked at LeBron and said, how you gonna bring burritos here? I don't have one. And it started off from that. And we started joshing back and forth right from that, and it just happened just like we had known each other all our lives. Because we both decided we were sitting in the corner talking one day, and everybody was sitting around looking around. I said, "Why are they looking all gloomy and everything?" So we here, let's make the best of what we can do. We here, we gonna have some fun, and it was, and the staff was beautiful about that because they loved it as well too. So it was yeah, and it just became just okay. This is what my job is when I come here. I come here, I get my therapy, but I also, like to bring some joy to other people while they're here. hopefully, well, I guess so, because the feedback all of all gave us, everybody enjoyed themselves too. We had some real times.
Well, I'm sure they missed that whole crew being together. That was a pretty special deal. We're in that gym at the same time.
Yeah,
Uh, and I know for a lot of people, we still visit and got our group, but everybody still remembers that time. Probably won't ever forget it. We all went through something together that most people don't experience. So, there's a family unit that kind of
yeah,
gets built out of that.
certainly
But
is.
I think that staying positive and having those good times is a big key to positive recovery.
Right.
And I think it speeds it up. I remember some other people that were really down, and I hated seeing them that way. And the better I got feeling, the more I could see that around me, especially once my vision came back. And just saying something nice to somebody goes a long ways when they're not feeling good.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, saying something nice to anybody when you pass them by is, you know what I mean? Just to be
Yeah,
nice to your fellow citizen is just a good thing. It's just a nice way of life. I mean, I'm not a grumpy person at all. So, you know what I mean? I just can't see, that I need to come in and what I need to come into a room, my presence brings you boom. No. No, I like being positive and to others, it's natural for me.
no, for sure. Well, and I don't know. I mean, I thought I was. I think it's better now, than I was before the stroke. But definitely now, I think I'm just more aware that everybody's can be having a random struggle at any time. So, uh, being kind is a big thing. I think everybody could benefit from that in our society in general.
Yeah, well, I read something we used to say at work all the time as well too. I read but said that you know what I mean. If you think that you having a bad time, just go look at the next person. There's always somebody who's probably in worse off shape than you are. So I mean, what actually do if you can get up in the morning and you can breathe and you got your right mind, what you got to complain about, right?
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. I'll get up and go and try to make something of
Trying
it.
to make some of it. Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a bad day. Everybody has one. Just don't stay stuck there.
That's correct. I mean, right, and then you make the best of it. I mean, we all presented with challenges. The question is, what do we do with them once we are challenged? You know what I mean? Do we become victimized by it, or do we become it becomes a learning experience for us? I like to think it to be I'm gonna learn from it.
Absolutely. No, I think that's really clear through your still positive attitude through this whole thing. And, it was cool. I hadn't seen you since we both graduated and got out of there. And then I happened to go up there just to visit with people like I like to do. And there you were too.
Yeah,
Sitting there
doing the same
visiting.
thing, right? Doing the same
You
thing.
were, man. And that was so uplifting and awesome to know that you were there doing that too, because I think it's super important.
Well, you remember there used to be this guy. Was his name was his Grady? There was a guy who used to come through there all the time, both inpatient and outpatient, bringing
Oh,
Uh,
Gary.
Gary, yeah, Gary, yeah, Gary. I mean, that's what inspired me because he used to do that all the time. I thought that was and his stories were fantastic. You know what I mean? So I said, wow, that's giving back, right? That's giving back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a big part of my story. I've mentioned him on this podcast a couple times, and I know he's okay with me talking about it because he puts it right out there,
Right, right.
in that space. But yeah, he was a very positive and good part of my story when I was kind of wanting to just roll over and give up. He's like, "Hey,
Exactly,
man,"
exactly.
he's like, "That ain't gonna work."
No, right, right.
Basically, talking, get your butt up.
Get up,
Yeah,
stand up. You know what you cared about. He said when they looked at me, they told me that they told him he won't go make it. He said, now look at me. I said like, dang, okay, all right.
yeah.
So right.
I need to get him on. I really do.
Yeah, you should, man. You should really get him. He would be great to be on, right? Right.
Got
So
He's got a heavy story too. But resilience, I think that's another thing. It seems like if you do and when you do pull through from a stroke type situation or any kind of neurological thing, there's a whole different level of strength that you have. It takes, first of all, to get through it, and just a different attitude in general. Everybody that I've visited with that's kind of been through that has the same positive and hopeful outlook on life. It's
right, right.
man, it feels good to know that that happens. I wish and I hope through what we're doing that we can share that with people without them having to go through all that. But,
Right? But if they do go through it, and there's some part about what we're talking about gives them some hope, some inspiration, then that's all good. We can't be nothing but be blessed from doing that, right?
that's right. That's right. So I want to switch gears a little bit here, and I had kind of visited with you a little bit about this before we started recording, but you have one of your older son that you mentioned earlier
Right.
is
Jay,
struggling right now.
oh,
Um,
I want to tell you,
yeah,
put him
if
in
you
put
don't,
him in your prayers. You know what I mean? My oldest son back in 2018, if I may, had my daughter went down to Charlotte. He was in Charlotte at the time working for a pharmaceutical company, and we had not heard from him in quite a bit, which was not unusual for him. That's just the way he was. But when she went down there and asked her having lunch, the guy who came in that she saw was nothing like the man who we knew. So she thought he had fallen upon some bad times or something and everything. So she got him into some early examinations, and there were issues being found that ended up uh, getting seen by a neurologist up in New Jersey, where they diagnosed him as having what was labeled then as Pick's disease, which we've come to understand now to be a form of frontal lobe dementia. And so here was a young man at 215, 5'10", 215 back in 2008, who's now bedridden, unable to speak. He's just, it's the disease has deteriorated him to nothing but a shell. So it's a difficult experience. Uh, I think some people may have heard from the information with Whitney Williams and Bruce Willis and everything that frontal lobe dementia is it's a form of Alzheimer dementia as well too, and it causes the brain to just start making body parts stop functioning. So lost control of your facilities seem to be the first one. Then you can't eat, you can't speak. Um, so then you become and you know what, man, the inspiring part of this story is that his mother committed to being his primary care provider, and this is not an easy task. I'm
no,
I I, I can't even
everything I've
fathom.
read on it says that that's probably, I mean, anytime you're dealing with a dementia is a tough thing. And I can't imagine as a father, and you were saying earlier, you would have you're getting a second chance at doing it now, and I know that you're going up there to see him and trying to spend the time you can with him. But man, it's tough on a caregiver. So I can only imagine his mom being the primary caregiver. I mean, she's got to be a pretty strong woman too.
I don't know how she does it. You know, what I mean, that she's beyond being a strong woman. She's a saint. I mean, for years I tried to encourage her to put him in a facility because this kills not only him but her life as well too. Because she has no life.
Right.
All she does is 24/7, 365. It's right there to provide her with care. But that's what she committed to doing. And
Yeah, and
all
that's
I
her.
can do is
That's her.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, you know, I mean, who am I to say otherwise? What can I do for you to make your life a little bit easier? That's basically what I should do. So,
Well, I
but it's
think that
rough.
puts it in perspective too. What we were just saying a second ago, that there's always things going on with people that you don't know about, and then there's usually somebody that's dealing with something a little bit worse or a lot worse than you. So I'm sure for you, it's kind of like, well, man, I better sit here and complain about my little situation when my son's sitting here,
Can't even
losing,
walk,
losing,
can't talk.
losing.
Don't you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you imagine? Right? No. Anytime you want to, if I tried to get into a pity pot, all I got to do is just, wait a minute, hold up. Even going through a stroke, I still didn't have anything remotely uh, associated with what he's going through. That's rough.
That's right. Well, we'll pray for peace for all of you, him and and his mama and you and the rest of the family. That affects everybody.
Yes,
That's
yes, it
a
does.
that's a tough thing, and I really think that probably very little known about it until Bruce Willis or somebody famous gets it. You don't really hear about it a whole
Right,
lot, but
right.
from what I read, it even at his age, Amber was saying, "Man, that seems kind of young for that." But what I saw and I looked up on the frontal lobe dementia is it actually is more regular or common with 40 to 65-year-old
Right.
uh, men. That was a
Yeah.
weird,
It
kind of
it is. It is. It
strange
is.
thing.
It just progresses so quickly when you're at that age. You know what I'm saying? So and then when you're in your 40s and you have it, it progresses to the point where it becomes so debilitating that you can't even take care of your own self. That it's so troublesome. You know what I mean? Right.
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 Well, we don't have to stay on that anymore. I appreciate you sharing that, and definitely we'll be praying for y'all on that.
Well, prayer
Yeah,
changes things. You know, what I mean, my mother is a strong believer in that, and often, I mean, I must tell you that what I mean, my mother is the rock. She's 97, if I might put that in there as well too. So, and she is still mobile, is in total control of her cognitions and everything, and so she makes it clear that what I mean, while he's going through all of these things and we don't understand it. It makes it clear to me that there's an old spiritual out there that says that we'll all understand it better by and by. So there we go.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's your mama's name?
Irma, Irma Cherry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was something else I definitely wanted to talk about her a little bit because you brought her up when we saw each other up there at Day
yeah,
Nero, and you
yeah.
said that she just
She
eats,
is.
breathes, talks Jesus, and
Yes,
like
man. Really, really,
you
really.
can
You know
tell when
what? You
she
don't.
walks in
You
the room.
don't. You can. You when you walk in the room, you already know that she's touched. You don't. You know what I mean. You don't even have to hear a word out of her mouth, and neither does she ever have to proclaim her salvation or thing. You see it. You know it, even to a non-believer. I told you when I saw you up there and said I have to go up there once in a while and just touch the hem of her garment,
Yeah, that's right.
so I can feel whole. Right, right. She is, man. She is really. She's an inspiration. I think she's an inspiration to any and everybody who she meets. Never has met a stranger. I think that's where I must have gotten it as from as well too. You know what I mean? Always got a kind word for others. You know what I mean? So a beautiful woman, a very beautiful woman indeed, and enjoying her twilight years as well too. She told me the other day when we were talking that one of her she goes to a social thing with seniors all up at her age, and one of the ladies in there turned to 100. So she said, "You know what?
Wow.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to be 100." I said, "Oh wow, that is a wonderful thing." You know what I'm saying? To be 100 and to be inspired to turn 100 years old. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, maybe you get a little bit of that too, and this
Yeah,
is
look, if I
all
change it, I surely got to change my ways, though. That's for sure, right?
that's right. Yeah, we know she was living the straight and narrow. That
She
probably
Lord,
didn't.
was she ever? You know what, man? I got to share with you on that. I told you about. So I think I could share this with you. My mother's also a cancer survivor. She had cancer 50 years ago,
Wow.
and is a cancer survivor, and has it does very well. Does very well.
That's impressive too, because cancer treatment has come a long ways in
Yeah,
50
since
years.
that
I
time.
mean,
Yeah, yeah, yes.
uh, for her
She
to come back, not in
No, yeah, not at all, not at all. Didn't and
on
never had to have chemotherapy. Then when they caught it earlier today, they had to have surgery. After the surgery, what I mean, she was able to live cancer free all
yeah,
these years.
that's cool. Yeah, she's on the verge of being centurion. I think is what they
Yes,
call it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. She's the
So,
not not
you
what
know,
is
we
she?
don't
Not huh? Yeah, yes,
we
ma'am.
don't have a lot of those in the United States. So I mean, that's a special thing too.
Yeah, yeah, it is. The journey, yeah, 100, right. What I think, what the is it the Japanese? Who is it? The Japanese, I think, the ones who a whole lot of centurions in that group.
And I want to say now, I'm probably going to say this wrong. I was watching some documentary, just like these different areas, and they were trying to figure out what makes people live longer. And I want to say it was somewhere around Italy or in that area as well. And they attributed it to the elevation and them having to walk up and down stairs all the time and staying active. So I'm going to try to stay that kind of attributed. And I bet your mom's pretty active
Oh
still.
man, I was hoping you were saying was eating pasta and drinking a lot of good red wine.
I mean, that would be great. I know it sounds good. I mean, I think they probably do that too. So who knows?
But there's something about some blue zones or something. I think that the diet is
Oh yeah,
part of the process as well too.
the
But you know,
Mediterranean diet.
right, the Mediterranean diet. You know, what I mean, I lived and worked a number of years in Europe. I'm always impressed that there seems like to me that there are a lot of Indians that they don't run after as much fast food as we tend to have readily available to us as well too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and the process. Yeah, exactly.
And
All the
processed
processed
foods
foods.
and you know what I mean.
Well,
Our food industry has pushed sugar down our throat for years. It's in everything.
that's right.
Everything. Yeah.
I said that on a podcast. I was like, if I told you that, like most Americans, you tell them, hey man, if you'll stop eating that sugar, I can save your leg. Or I think I talked about giving you a certain amount for your leg, or
Right.
quitting eating
Right.
sugar or whatever. Most people would be like, well, I'm not going to quit sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, that is a killer in ours. And then, I mean, obviously they're changing some stuff right now, but we got a bunch of stuff in our diet that's legal in other countries. So I mean, that's a kind of
It's kind of
educate
interesting, right? Right. Right.
educate
Yeah.
yourself.
Right.
Educate
Right.
yourself.
And we got a Food and Drug Administration. Damn.
Right. And it's all addictive stuff
Yeah.
too. So I mean, it's not like it's an easy thing. I really don't know that I would have cleaned up my act if I hadn't have ran into hard times. So that part of it has been a blessing as well as far as my health goes. And I still trip up every once in a while, but I definitely am taking way better care of myself now and eating way better than I ever did before.
Right, right. Yeah, you and I both, you know, and you know what I tell you, the other thing about retirement that has happened, since I retired, I'm not eating at fast food restaurants and everything too, because I do almost all the cooking in the family now that I'm here all day. So I'm always in some magazine trying to find another recipe to go out to try to make, my kids are looking at me and saying, "But Papa, can we just have some spaghetti and meat sauce sometime? Because I'm trying to find all of these nice dishes to put together too that but good healthy eating. And it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Braun's wanting to come on. I think he wants to do an interview, but he said he wants you on there too. So we may have to do one more visit with him and put us together a podcast with little Braun and all three of us visit
Right,
one
right,
day.
right,
I would
right,
love
right.
to have that
He wants
mindset.
you to come see him personally, though, one day, right? So,
Oh yeah, no, which will be fun. I will figure it out.
right,
I mean,
exactly, exactly.
my mobile setup definitely is lacking a little bit to be desired, but
Yeah, I
I
saw a couple of your podcasts where you had people sitting across with microphones in front of you, look just like the people on TV and everything. So, wow, right, yeah,
that's where I'm at here in the studio. If I can get people to come here, that's probably the best. But sometimes it's just easier to visit like this,
right,
or
right,
I'm going to try to get my mobile setup going pretty good because doing what I'm doing and visiting with people. Some people have deficits. They're probably not going to make it out here. So I need to make it easy for them and try to get meet people where they're at best I
right.
can.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think I'm cool that you got the app to kind of do that too. I'm so used to doing video chats that, when you told me you had one, okay, cool. I
Yeah,
can do that. Yeah, 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 yeah,
it's
yeah.
perfect. Well, I think we're pretty close to wrapping it up. Do you got any words of wisdom or anything that you can kind of
Where's the wisdom, man? Uh,
just
uh,
something inspirational, something for
and
people?
inspiration. I think that there are some old adages out there that say that what I mean. If you want to look for change, look at the person in the mirror. And then, I think every day you have to take and find some joy in it and be sure you pass that on to other people. I mean, that's my philosophy in life. That's what I like to do. I mean, every day, the 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 person doing the crosswalk, the policeman on the corner, what I mean, the lady at the grocery counter, what I mean, that doesn't take anything to give them a kind word, what I mean. So
That's right.
that's my words. What I mean. So
Be kind.
be
Be
kind to
kind.
others. What I
I
mean, hell,
love that.
it may just come back to you. So right,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I think that was a good session, and hopefully some people got something out of it. I normally run a little bit longer, but I know we're going to visit again, so we'll just do another one and, hopefully have some more positive, kind words to say.
Well, okay. Yeah, if not, we can't do a do-over now. That's okay. I've got no problem with that, right?
That sounds good, man. I appreciate it, Lorenzo.
All right.
All right, take care.
Bye. Take care.
I'll do my best one day at a time on the broken road, on the broken road.